the Hormuz war escalates, both Iran and the U.S. claim to be guardians of the crucial waterway. In a first, U.S. forces have used sea drones in combat operations. Iran has unleashed its advanced ballistic missile arsenal. It fired monster missiles on American bases, including the Fatah and Kebeshakan. According to the IRGC, it hit the U.S. Fifth Fleet in Bahrain Air Base in Jordan as well. Trump now saying the Strait of Hormuz is open to all except Iran. The 20% reimbursement fee replaced with the trade deals. A lot has happened in just the last 24 hours. In fact, the U.S. military has carried out that third night of strikes against Iran earlier after President Donald Trump said he is reinstating its blockade of Iranian shipping. Remember, Trump earlier declared the United States would ensure the Hormuz Strait is open and said it would be charging a fee. And here's how Iran has been responding to that announcement earlier in developments that have been crucial. The Iranian foreign minister also earlier put out this post, I'm quoting, "The President of the United States is absolutely right. Whoever provides secure and safe passage of commercial vessels through the Strait of Hormuz should be compensated for this service. Iran has always been the guardian of the strait and will remain so forever. 20% is, of course, too much. We will be fair." Note the sentiment in that statement. But you see, that's just one layer to this complex cycle and the series of developments. In fact, Trump is also demanding that the Gulf allies reimburse America for the costs of securing the strait. That's what he had said earlier. In fact, he specifically named Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Qatar, Bahrain, Kuwait as countries that need to pay. In fact, the world has long considered the strait, which passes the coastlines of Iran as well as Oman, as a free-to-use international waterway. Both Iran and the U.S. want to control it. In fact, according to the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, established in 1982, remember, no country has the right to claim international waters and all ships have the right of unimpeded passage. But then still, both Iran and America have been using their tactics and tools to try and exert control, pressure. Earlier, the International Maritime Organization also reacted, saying that passage through the strait should remain free of any tolls and charges in accordance with the international law. And as the two sides engaged in that high-voltage tussle for control over the Strait of Hormuz, the U.S. launched strikes on Iran after President Trump vowed to reinstate the American blockade of Iranian ports. Iran responded with attacks on West Asia allies of the U.S. In fact, in a first, U.S. forces also used naval drones in combat operations. The U.S. military said it used one-way attack sea drones for the first time in combat in an attack on an Iranian naval port. The U.S. Central Command has said using multiple one-way attack surface drones, CENTCOM forces struck a submarine and ship maintenance facility in Iran. 3 unmanned surface vessels hit the port at Bandar Abbas Naval Base, marking the first time American forces have employed sea drones in combat operations. A video released by CENTCOM showing an aerial view, basically, of 3 small sea drones speeding towards a raised dock that appeared to be holding a small submarine and then exploding. Watch those images. Now, it has been unclear from the video how much damage was actually caused, but there were plumes of smoke. That was the video that CENTCOM had put out. The last blast also appeared to cause a large fire. A lot of significance as far as these visuals are concerned. Remember, Ukraine has also made extensive use of naval drones against Russian ships in the Black Sea. For Kiev, inexpensive naval drones have been a game changer. The Central Command identified the sea drones used in the attack on Sunday. Let's tell you more about what is known as of now reportedly as far as these drones are concerned, the sea drones as they are being called. A 24-foot-long unmanned boat, basically. It was reportedly the same type of boat used to rescue the 2-person crew from a U.S. Apache helicopter gunship that went down near the Strait of Hormuz last month. that was said to be the first U.S. rescue carried out by an autonomous surface vessel. In fact, it can reportedly travel at speeds of up to 35 knots and can also carry a load of up to 1,000 pounds, more than 1,000 nautical miles. That's what is known right now as far as these sea drones are concerned. They have been used by the U.S. for the first time in such an attack. Meanwhile, as the entire region also grapples with an increasingly precarious situation, as of now, Bahrain and Jordan earlier said they had intercepted new Iranian attacks on Tuesday as Tehran retaliated with the missiles and drones across the region. The UAE said at least 2 tankers came under Iranian fire in the Strait of Hormuz. So a lot has been happening across the region. Earlier, Iran also said U.S. strikes hit an Iranian border area near Iraq and Kuwait as the fighting between the two sides continued. Meanwhile, India summoned Iran's senior diplomat in New Delhi to protest against attacks on 2 commercial vessels in the Strait of Hormuz that killed an Indian seafarer and injured several others. India summoned the Iranian deputy ambassador in New Delhi today after an Indian seafarer was killed when Iran struck 2 UAE-owned tankers reportedly in the Strait of Hormuz. The move coming as India expressed concern over the safety of its large seafaring community, with thousands of Indian nationals working on merchant vessels across the region. Indian officials have condemned the attack, which took place on Monday in Omani territorial waters, reportedly. Meanwhile, the U.S. military's official tally of deaths in the Iran war has risen to 14 service members, reportedly, with the deaths of a Navy pilot in a helicopter crash in early July in the Arabian Sea, as reported. The number of injured troops from the conflict also has grown to more than 400 as of Monday. That's what the figures look like. According to the spokesman for the U.S. Central Command, the majority of them suffered traumatic brain injuries. The U.S. Central Command did not quite offer any details reportedly on the specific airman, but traumatic brain injuries that have defined most of the injuries in the war are an increasingly persistent problem among combat forces, especially those subjected to missile strikes and explosions that hit nearby, reportedly. And while the injury, along with post-traumatic stress disorder, has become one of the signature wounds among veterans of the post-9/11 era, the impact on the troops, especially long-term, are still poorly understood as of now, reportedly. In fact, America threatening to exert pressure, both sides have been using their tactics as far as the crucial waterway is concerned. But will America and Iran's strategy work, and in which direction? Experts reportedly also commenting on America's tactics, saying it will require a much bigger armada, if not tens of thousands of American troops, for example. Will Trump or Iran back down? Or will we see further volatility in the region with ripple effects around the world? Tributes continue to pour in for Sri Nand Kishore Goenka, the philanthropist and visionary who passed away in Mumbai on Monday. The patriarch of the SL Group family breathed his last peacefully at the age of 96.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi showered rich praise in his personal letter on Sri Nand Kishore Goenka's blessed life, filled with selfless public service. PM Modi penned a touching condolence letter to SL Group chairman and former lawmaker Dr. Subhash Chandra, paying condolences for the loss of his father. In his letter, PM wrote, and I quote, "He not only strengthened business traditions but also fulfilled his responsibilities towards society with sincerity. His service to the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh, his organizational spirit and his commitment to the principle of nation first made his life an example of simplicity and public welfare." Born on September 28, 1930, Sri Nand Kishore Goenka decided to devote his life to the grassroots social transformation of the society. Being a committed Swayamsevak of RSS, he spent years of his life organizing social events and promoting social harmony among people. The Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh, in a post on X, expressed grief over Sri Goenka's demise and lauded his efforts for social work and cow welfare. People from all across thronged his ancestral home in Hisar to pay their last respects to the great philanthropist and visionary. The mortal remains of Sri Goenka was brought from Mumbai to his hometown in Hisar on Tuesday. His last rites will be performed on Wednesday. The final rites will take place at Goenka Garden in Agroha Dham. Sri Nand Kishore Goenka's life was defined by strong values, humility, compassion and unwavering dedication to serve the society. Through his quiet acts of generosity and dedication to community welfare, he touched the lives of many.
Our next story is from India. In a sequence of events that may resemble a thriller film, an American national was reportedly caught in India at the border without a passport while trying to cross into Nepal, allegedly. This unfolded 3 days ago when India's SSB noticed Brown moving towards the border. This was in a district of Uttar Pradesh. After he attempted to flee from the scene, he was arrested and taken to the agency's headquarters for questioning. However, his travel history has deepened the mystery. Brown told the UP police that he initially traveled to Thailand on a tourist visa, where he claimed to have lost his passport. From there, he reached Sri Lanka via the sea route. Subsequently, he claimed to have arrived in the Indian state of Goa on November 2nd last year, again via sea. While he stayed there in Goa for a long time, he then reportedly moved to Bengaluru. As per reports, he boarded a bus to reach Lucknow on the 8th of July before proceeding to Gorakhpur, from where he hailed a taxi to reach the Nepal border. According to a senior UP police official, the US national has been booked under sections dealing with entering India without a valid passport. If proven guilty, he faces up to 5 years in jail and a fine of up to 5 lakh rupees.
His claims are currently being verified. A case has been registered against him at the Sonauli police station under sections 21-23 of the Immigration and Foreigners Act for entering India without valid documents, and further legal proceedings are underway.
What is also added to the intrigue, in fact, is that a number of claims by him are yet to be verified. For instance, he reportedly told the investigators that he served in the US Navy and Special Forces for 6 years and quit the military service nearly 2 years ago. Not just that, he also claimed to have traveled to 70 countries. According to him, he married an Indian yoga instructor hailing from Uttarakhand in October 2024. But then why did he want to visit Nepal is the immediate question. Brown claims that he wanted to meet a Nepalese national whom he had met in Goa earlier. However, he was unable to provide any address or any details as such about this individual. The US Embassy has been informed about his arrest. While no national security threat has come to the fore in this case so far, concerns are being raised over foreigners reportedly moving across India under suspicious circumstances. For instance, in March this year, the NIA arrested a US citizen along with 6 Ukrainian nationals for allegedly entering India from Myanmar through the Mizoram border. According to the agency, they were part of a conspiracy allegedly to carry out terrorist activities against India.